Hey everybody, it's Chris Shubert from CNSG back with another edition of the Zoom, where we zoom in on thought leaders in the channel today. All right, folks, I got a special treat for you today. You got a double shot of Chris's. You got myself, and then I've also got Chris Jones, AVP of the Master Agent Program at AT&T. It's a little company you might have heard of. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm good, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm sure the subtitle we should put under this is "The best hair in the business meets the best smile in the business today." You've always got that $1 million smile going. So, Chris, let's kind of start with a little bit about you. You know, it is tempting to look on AT&T as, you know, the big grandfather company, the big gigantic carrier. And yet every time I see you, you do have that, you know, that smile on your face. You got a pep in your step. What Tell us a little bit about your background and also what fires you up about working for AT&T. I thought we were supposed to be scared of you guys.
Well, thank you, Chris, for having me here on this Friday. I'm thrilled to be here with you and your larger community. But so a little bit about me. I'm close to 25 years with AT&T, but I'm a little bit different. I've actually resigned twice from AT&T. I left once. Yeah, I did about 6 years with AT&T. I left and went and worked in a small business. After that, I was recruited back to AT&T. I worked another 6 years at AT&T, and I resigned again, and I went to Singular Wireless. And then this stint back into AT&T kind of started with my Singular Wireless experience. So I have a long and varied experience with AT&T. But as I said, I've also been outside of AT&T. I've worked with I've worked at small businesses. I've worked in the wireless side. I've worked in the traditional AT&T side. And I've been fortunate to sort of have a lot of opportunities inside of AT&T, some really cool projects and some really cool initiatives. What fires me up most, Chris, about AT&T is just the changes that we're going through as a company. You know, when you think about AT&T, everyone, the best part of working for AT&T is when we knock on someone's door, we don't have to explain who we are. The biggest challenge of working for AT&T is when you knock on someone's door, they think they know who you are, right? Because we are such a big company and we do have so many different ways that people think of us that sometimes we can get tagged with a certain approach, right? But what's so cool right now is AT&T, we own CNN, we own Warner Brothers, we own the Joker property, right? So we're reestablishing who AT&T is. And it's a really exciting time to be a part of AT&T as we're going through this evolution and this transformation. And we're not who everyone thinks. And what I just sort of shared, I use a lot in conversations because it breaks the ice and it gets people to have a conversation about how AT&T, how we're different, and how we can work together going forward, because we aren't the same AT&T that everyone's used to thinking about, knowing about, or interacting with historically.
My only problem with what you just said is I don't want to think of AT&T as the ones that own the Joker. Let's go with Superman or Batman, Wonder Woman, far better.
Friends, we're very proud of our Friends as a part of our catalog.
There you go. That'll work. It appeals to the Gen Xer here. So let's kind of get some old news out of the way. You know, for folks that might be tuning into the Zoom here that, haven't tried AT&T in a while or are dubious about it, you've made a lot of waves just in the last several years. Obviously didn't have a very large partner-friendly program a few years ago. You've got that now. You had AT&T and ACC as two very separate divisions, very separate companies. They are one now with one common channel management structure, one common support team. Same channel manager handles the legacy ACC product line and all that crazy stuff that we can do at AT&T. So hopefully all of that is not new news to the partner community, but if so, we've got it out of the gate. So let's talk about this year, a somewhat challenging year for the channel, but a year that a carrier like AT&T is probably more well-positioned to handle than any other. What defines the sweet spot for AT&T and the partner community today?
Well, Chris, as I think about it, right, and to your comment, you kind of ran through a little bit of our history, but just to kind of add a little bit to that, we've had a strong indirect focus program, but we never really took advantage of the master agent community and all of the distribution that you and the community that you're a part of bring to the forefront. So we've made some really strategic changes, and the things that we've done in the last 4 months are a culmination of sort of a 3-year journey that we've been on. And in the November timeframe, we reorganized to really approach the masters and the channel partners that work with masters in a different way. We're traditionally, AT&T is a market leader. We're a significant company from a global perspective, and sometimes we can approach the industry from a sort of an arrogant, self-centered approach, right? Part of what we did in the fall is we put together an organization focused on masters and channel partners and how we can go to market together in a way that meets what this community is experiencing and expecting, right? And that was a part of 3 years of working together and understanding what we did well and what we didn't do well. So now as we've come together with this new organization that you've talked about, what's really exciting for us is we bring a full portfolio of solutions together that a lot of people may not think about for AT&T. I mentioned earlier that most people think about AT&T from whatever their legacy is. It could be from being the local phone company. It could be from being a TV provider. It might be our internet service. It could be your wireless device. The reality is all of those things are now together, right? But we also have things that people don't think of us for. We're a significant player in the cybersecurity space, right? We are a dominant player. We're a big, important player in the IoT business, right? We have integrated solutions. When I go to events that master agents host and the channel partners attend, there are so many interesting companies there that are offering solutions that work over networks. And what people don't realize about AT&T is so many of those offers can also be put on AT&T paper, right? So what we actually have, one of the things that we bring to the forefront is we're not just a network provider anymore. We're a provider that your channel partners and agents can work with and put together full solutions, whether it's wireline, wireless, security, what I'll call integrated or advanced solutions, SD-WAN, Colo. There's a lot of things like that people don't realize AT&T brings to the forefront. And the fact that we can bring it all together, we can put it on one bill for a customer. From a channel partner's perspective, it's instead of having to work with 5 or 6 or 7 providers to piece together a solution to their customer, you can get best-in-class solutions all through AT&T, all through the support model that we've put in place. And it makes the entire process that much easier, and we always try and focus and start with the customer, right? What is in the customer's best interest? And then we're also now trying to really focus on what's in the channel partner's best interest. And we believe if we put the customer and the channel partner first, we have the ability to help put together solutions that are going to make everyone's business grow and everyone's going to be satisfied at the end of it.
So delving into that a little bit, some of the key takeaways that I want to make sure our community hears is it's funny to hear you talk about AT&T the same way some of our smaller, very popular alternative all-in-one carriers would chat. I mean, they will say, we're going to deliver everything on one bill. We're going to give you a great customer service experience. That's something that we've come to expect from the alternative carrier community. But it's not necessarily the statement that I think the channel is used to or expects to hear from AT&T. But I will say, when we're looking at AT&T from a CNSG standpoint, we don't look at you as the granddaddy of telecom carriers. We look at you as Chris Jones. We look at you as Wendy Swanson, our national CM, Matt Ellison, one of our core CMs, and Jackie Steinberg, who is both kind of handles the dual role and working with our AppSmart brethren, but also recently introduced us to your new co-location ecosystem. Would you mind sharing a little bit about that for our organization? Because I think it speaks exactly to what you're chatting about bringing a lot of different solutions together all under AT&T.
Yeah, I think what people don't always think about or remember when they think about AT&T is we provide fully integrated solutions to customers, right? And we, in a lot of cases, we work with best-in-class partners from inside of the industry. And as a result of the size and scale that AT&T is, we have incredible relationships with the same partners. And so we have a really unique ability. And I think in the colo space, there's probably 6 or 7 providers that we work with that you all have an ability to work with individually, but people don't realize there's an opportunity to bring that business into AT&T. And the value is when you start talking about colo providers and then putting it in a total solution through AT&T, there's market economics around how do we price network, how do we price colo, how do we price security offerings to go with that, right? And your partners have always provided solutions and full suites of solutions to customers, but haven't necessarily had the luxury of the value of the economics of it sort of being bundled together and the total spend that customer's making. The fact that AT&T has the opportunity to work with our pricing teams and to work with your partners to put together a solution that brings the best of all solutions together into a unified offer with that one proposal to a customer and one set of pricing to a customer that takes the full solution into account, I think that brings value to your customer, right? It's not just piece-parted solutions, but it's value in the total price point solution that you can talk to your agents about.
Very true words there. Now, we've talked a lot about the breadth and the scope of AT&T, and literally it's a company that you can work with, and literally it's very often, in fact, I'm almost sure it's impossible for AT&T to say, no, we don't do that. Generally, there's always an answer. My bud Justin Purdy once gave me like this little, for lack of a better word, NASCAR slides of all the different brands and manufacturers of different equipment that you have access to. Saying you have multiple SD-WAN platforms is an understatement. Tell us a little bit about the engineering resources that our partners have via AT&T and via your partner support community that they may not be aware of, because sometimes it's about you approach that monster of all those products and you need some help narrowing it down. What does AT&T do to simplify that?
Well, I think one of the things that we really tried to do in the fourth quarter when we reorganized our team to approach the masters is we realized that we needed to support you all differently, right? Everyone knew who AT&T was, and for a lot of reasons, that you all were intentionally working with your customers to provide solutions without working with AT&T, right? So we needed to reorganize our team in a way that allows us to work with you and make all of those products and all of the solutions that we bring to bear not overwhelming, right? That NASCAR chart you talk about has 2 opportunities for someone when they look at it. One is they see a tremendous amount of opportunity and a tremendous area to go focus on. In other cases, it just makes us look really complicated and cumbersome and worrying. Like, where do I focus first? Right. So what we did do in the fourth quarter of last year when we reorganized to be very master centric is we actually introduced partner development managers, or PDMs, that we've never had inside of AT&T, right? Focused on the masters. And you talked about Wendy Swanson earlier, who works with all of you, right? And Wendy's job at a master level is to be the decoder ring for AT&T and to try and make sure that you all with your partner community are focusing on the parts of AT&T solutions that meet your sweet spot and meet the kinds of customers that your agents are selling to, right? But at the same point, we also put in place across 3 regional sales teams, we put in place localized channel managers so that your sub-agents, if you have a sub-agent in California, we want to make sure that they're not talking to Wendy Swanson, who's in South Florida. So we have 21 channel managers remotely distributed across the United States so that your sub-agents have local support at the point of customer to make sure that we're helping your agent understand what are the resources that AT&T brings to bear, whether it's our technical sales consultants, our DNCs or data networking consultants. We have overlay service engineers, sales engineers. We have more acronyms and sales support that I could rattle off, and I'd sound like old school AT&T where you need sort of a dictionary to decode all of our acronyms. What I would tell you is there's no shortage of expertise, and there's no shortage of resource that we can bring to bear to help one of your channel partners talk with a customer, right? That is one of the benefits of being AT&T is we have resources all over the place with such incredible knowledge and expertise. When we identify an opportunity, we've always been able to bring forth the kind of the support that someone needs to satisfy a customer and really answer their questions, right? So in some cases, what our organization is in place to do is to be the decoder ring so that you at CNSG or your channel partners aren't trying to figure out who to talk to. That's what our team is all about, right? So we've aligned ourselves to try and create the easy button, knowing that we have all of those solutions that your customers are probably interested in. And we have to just help you identify the best resources inside of AT&T and how we can do it. And so we're really excited by what we've done. And we're excited in terms of what we're seeing from a momentum perspective. But I think it's working. And we've only launched this in fourth quarter. It's working. The feedback we're getting from masters, the feedback we're getting from channel partners is excellent. And we're continuing to morph that model to make sure that we're focused on you and your channel partners as our customer as much as we're focused on your customers and trying to grow market share together.
I can absolutely echo the compliments that you've received there. You know, with the new AT&T program, we've seen someone obviously with the power that you guys have, but it's definitely a team that gets the channel, is taking care of the channel the way they need to be taken care of, and is willing to go above and beyond. Every single partner we've introduced to the new team, I mentioned some of the channel managers that we're working with, they walked away very, very impressed and not, definitely adding AT&T back in their portfolio, which brings me to a case study. We have talked on here, obviously, AT&T's big. AT&T can do it all. We talked about colo and data center and security services and core circuits and voice and SD-WAN out the wazoo. But a lot of the channel partners today don't necessarily always think of you as they're a bread and butter provider. They wait until they get that enterprise grade customer. The case that we have here is a bread and butter. So tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so the opportunity we want to talk about, it was a sale that we made, and as much as you probably think AT&T and you probably think really large enterprise sales, global sales, the one we want to talk about, it's a small sale, right? It was 2 circuits, right? It was dedicated internet circuits, and then there was ASE, right? And the reality of the situation is customers. AT&T, that is our bread and butter. When you think about AT&T, you think about our customers, you think about the number of customers we have. We have a lot of high profile customers, but we have so many more everyday customers. When you walk around and you think about our heritage as a regional Bell operating company, or we're very focused on small businesses, and that truly is our heritage. And so this was a sale that was made on our ACC Business platform, right? Which is the platform you talked about earlier. It's really a small part of our distribution inside of AT&T. It's very boutique. It's very customer focused. It's very agent focused, and our partners love ACC Business. And over the last 6 to 10 weeks, we've seen a tremendous growth in terms of our quoting volumes. And what we've done is by bringing everyone together, it makes it easier for your channel partners when they come in with opportunities to decide, should we take this to ACC? Should we take it to AT&T? And we're seeing a lot of success. And so it's a manufacturing company. It's a couple circuits, but I would tell you, we do that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times a month. And we love the big sales and we love the big logos that everyone knows about and reads about. But our bread and butter is really taking those core circuits that people are doing. And then what we want to do going forward with all of you is take those circuits and then start talking about the security for those circuits, the solutions that whether you're a small business or a big business, we shouldn't be selling naked pipes. right? How do we make sure that we're selling secure pipes and that we're then talking about, backing, disaster recovery and the hosting and colo and all those kinds of things. And, that's one of the things I think we're all learning from the last couple of weeks is the importance of being prepared for the unknown, and how do we make sure that we're working with all of our customers and all of our agents and channel partners and masters like you to make sure the full portfolio of services is there. And it all starts with connectivity, right? Because if we didn't have good connectivity, you and I couldn't be on a video call today. All of the things that we're doing to keep things rolling through this crazy time period, it all starts with network. It all starts with connectivity. And you need a solid, reliable network. And then from there, we can help add on all those things on top of it.
We talk a lot at CNSG about the converged solution concept, which is exactly what you're chatting about, bringing all those different pieces together into one solution and one strategy for the customer. And AT&T is definitely one of those select providers that we have that you literally can build the entire converged solution around. But what has changed is that not only do you have competitive pricing now, not only do you have great bonuses and commissions now, but there's a real good team behind you guys. Obviously, Chris, you're up there leading the charge, but you've got a great bench of players behind you that have been great to CNSG and our community and our combined AppSmart family. So we thank you very much for everything you guys have done in the last several months, and we look forward to seeing what we can do in the future. For our community here, you've got questions on AT&T, please reach out to your CNSG channel manager or Miss Wendy Swanson, who we've referred to a couple of times. She'll get you squared away. Chris, it's been great having you here on the Zoom. Any final words for our audience today? What's that one message you want to leave them with?
Yeah, I think, Chris, it's kind of where we were at one point during our discussion. AT&T, the AT&T that you all think we're a different AT&T right now. And certainly when you think about it from a master agent channel partner perspective, if you haven't worked with AT&T in the last 3 or 4 months, I would really encourage you to come back, talk to CNSG, talk to our channel team. We've brought a lot of people into our organization that are industry hires, right? We've got an incredible mix of industry hires, AT&T people, folks from the ACC background. And when we're bringing this all together, we've built an organization that is completely and totally focused on master agents and channel partners and how this model works. And that's not always how AT&T approached this part of the marketplace historically. So my biggest thing is just because you know who we are, don't think you really know who we are, and don't think you know who we are today, because there's a lot of things changing at both a macro level from an AT&T perspective, and inside of the masters focused organization, there's a lot of really exciting things. And candidly, when I think about kind of working at AT&T and all the years I've been here, this is the most exciting time for me in terms of the opportunity and to go do something that people don't expect, right? There's so many times where you kind of touched on it at the beginning, and as I talk to sort of your peers around the industry, so many people look at me and go, we don't recognize you, right? We know that you're AT&T. We recognize the logo on your email and on your business card, but you don't behave the way we expect AT&T to operate with the master agent community. And that's exciting to me. It's exciting to me to sort of surprise people and to provide an experience that's different, knowing that the solutions that our team brings to bear and that the solutions that our incredible support team that's working with you can bring to bear for your customers. The biggest, most exciting thing is what's going to happen over the next 9 months, right? I'm so thrilled by the opportunity in front of us. I think there's so many untapped opportunities that we've yet to find. And I just look forward to working together with CNSG and all of your partners to really go out there and find those customers and present this new AT&T together to them and really satisfy and surprise not only your channel partners, but the customers with the solutions that we can bring to bear.
Well, thanks again, Chris. It's a heck of a message, and we look forward to embracing the power of AT&T in the months to come. We'll see you all next time on the Zoom from CNSG, where relationships matter.